what the savings rate is, or should I say what it should be. We're going to get into hopefully maybe some tips and tricks on how to help people increase their savings from bank rate, or maybe bank rate is just going to talk about how people don't have no money in the United States of America. All right. Do you have enough savings? Bank rate, the average amount in U.S. savings accounts. How does your cash stack up? And look, I saw this. This was published on February 29th, 2024. So I guess I wasn't behind. Because this I recorded last week, and last week was the 28th, so I'm actually good. I was like, I can't find this article, I can't find it. I guess it sounds like they might have released it a little bit late. Anyways, and this is written by Renee Bennett and edited by Mark Wanjo. All right, here we go, y'all. Key takeaways: the median transaction account balance. What is a transaction account? That's a checking account. What in the U.S. is between $8,000, potentially insufficient for a few months without income. What? The median transaction account balance in the U.S. is between $8,000, potentially insufficient for a few months without income. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I guess I got to continue reading the article. I don't read these articles ahead of time. Generally, households with older members, higher income, and higher education levels have higher savings, but all should aim to save at least 15% of pre-tax income. We're going to get into that's an investing number. We're going to talk about investing here, or just emergency fund type savings. Using high yield savings accounts and creating a budget can aid in effective saving strategies. I want to be clear, this 15%, when I talk about 15% on here, when I talk about Dave is over my shoulder or anything like that, when I talk about the money guys, where they say you should do your best to go to 25%, that's all like retirement-based investing, not savings. I know savings and investing sometimes get interchanged as synonyms. They're not the same. Investing is talking about, stock market, things of that nature, retirement type things, 401k, Roth IRA, TSP, 403b, whatever you got. Then here it sounds like they're talking about, it says 15% of pre-tax, which sounds like they're talking about investing savings, but then we got this high yield savings account here. So we get some clarity on that maybe from bank rate. Many bank accounts hold far less cash than U.S. consumers would need to cover even a few months without income, according to analysis of federal data. The median transaction account. What the hell does median transaction account? I'm sorry, y'all. This is why that person like that comment said I'd be getting distracted. But what does median transaction account mean? And shout out to new listeners out there. If you don't know, my mouse has been broken, but feel like maybe a year now, longer than that. And just be truthful, I'm too lazy to go get a new one. What is a median bank account? I don't know. We'll figure it out another point in time. Anyways, according to our Federal Reserve Survey, SCF, with the most recently published data from 2022, which is the article I just pulled up when I was searching for median transaction account. Transaction accounts. Oh, look, it defines it. I told you I do not read these articles ahead of time. Maybe I should read it ahead of just a teeny bit, but nope, we get that live reaction. Transaction accounts include savings, checking, money market, and call accounts, as well as prepaid debit cards. While the exact amount that consumers should keep in savings will vary depending on their income and expenses, it's generally best to save 15% of your pre-tax income, says Eric M. Baskin, founder of Baskin Financial Planning in Dayton, Ohio. Is 15% of your income just so happen to be 3 to 6 months of expenses? I mean, if you make $100,000, yeah, sure, have $15,000 saved, I guess. I mean, I guess that's still a good marker. But you don't, and here's the part where I talk about, I think the video, it was in relation to why you shouldn't like save. Like the first thing you do is save at the end of the month. You don't want to be saving from an emergency fund standpoint indefinitely. You have a dollar amount, say you make 100,000 for this example, you want to save 15%. So once you hit $15,000, you stop putting money in that high yield savings, that savings account, money market, whatever it is. You don't do it indefinitely and short like you do from an investing standpoint when it comes to like your retirement or your taxable brokerage account or whatever it is. I think this is where a lot of people get confused. They talk about and they talk about your savings rate. And a lot of times your savings rate is lumped into what you're able to invest as well. But you don't want to be saving this 15% here. It looks like they're talking about, savings. So non-retirement, non-taxable brokerage accounts / invested money, highly liquid money in a savings account at a bank. Sure, if you want to have 15%, normally the number is 3 to 6 months, but 15% ends up shaking out to roughly hitting in that 3 to 6 months range. So however you want to look at it. Let me see what my 3 to 6 months would be. So I can have my 15%. Yeah, 15%. Okay. 15% is definitely on the low end. It's probably on the 3-month side of things for most people. So I would say, yeah, at least here is actually a good number, but most people just say 3 to 6 months. I'm not sure why they're using 15% of your pre-tax income as a marker here, being that the investing amount is roughly that same number in that same exact phrase. Anyways, it's also important to factor in paying down debt and having specific savings goals. Once you have no debt, set goals such as to have 6-month emergency fund and save towards that goal. This is baby step 2 and 3, by the way. As I always say, if I see the Dave Ramsey gets so much flack here on the internet, mainly because I think, like I said, it's good for the algorithm. But by God, if I don't see people out here just damn near quoting what the hell he says, once you have no debt, it's probably saying no consumer debt, excluding the mortgage here, which is baby step 2. Save 6 months emergency fund, 3 to 6 months, baby step number 3. It's like, my goodness. But this was said by Jay Zigmont, PhD and CFP, founder of Child Free Wealth in Mississippi. That mean you ain't got no kids? Anyways, remember, if you didn't watch the student loan episode that I did going into 2023, going into last year, showing the data showed that married couples with no children have more student loan debt than married couples with children. All right, so be careful out here for the people trying to build that child-free wealth. Consider stashing savings away in a high-yield savings account or a certificate deposit. Do not put money in a CD to boost your savings. Let me say this. You can put money in a CD, but do not put money that you need as far as your emergency savings, that 3 to 6 months of expenses, in a CD. That money needs to be extremely liquid, and a CD is not extremely liquid. You can take the money out, but usually you have to deal with a penalty, and so you're not going to get all the money out that you put in. The benefit of CDs, especially in a time like now, interest rates are supposed to be getting lower at some point in time, but they're still muddling. CDs do give you that guarantee locked in, whatever it is, 5%, whatever it is for however long the term is. That's the one benefit of CDs. You can't guarantee how much money you're going to have. But the negative to a CD is the restrictions you get or the penalties, fees that you face if you take the money out before the term ends. I've helped plenty of people with CDs, but most people don't have a lot of money in CDs. If they do have them, you're better off just keeping the money in. Really now, since high yield savings accounts and non-brick and mortar banks are so, I guess, popular. In short, Ally, I believe Marcus doesn't have any brick and mortars, so no actual physical locations. These banks that offer high yield savings accounts and they offer high interest rates, that's one of their marketing strategies to get you to bank with them, even if it is a percent or two lower. And it does vary. The fact that you get that flexibility, that higher liquidity with that account would lean more, when you hear that information, people say don't get a CD. Now, if you got 3 to 6 months of expenses saved and you're like, hey, I don't know where to put this extra money, when I say you're investing, you can always invest more, but you're investing how much you need to invest. Your 15%, you're going to pay off your house, you're going to pay it off, like different type of things. You're like, what do I do with this extra money? You can look to put it in a CD if you want to. It's always at that point where it's like, Cory, I'm either going to go gamble this money away or I'm going to put it in a CD. I would tell you put the money in the CD, right? If you give me those type of 2 options, I'm either going to put it all on red. I'm going to put it all on red. I'm going to go down to casino, put it all on red, or I'm going to put it in a CD. I'd be like, okay, fine, put it in the CD. So when you get to that point where you're like, you don't even know not saying you have too much discretionary income, but you're like, hey, I just want to put some money in savings, in my high yield savings account, and I don't want to invest it. Like, I'm going to put it in the CD because I want to guarantee, this return. It's like, okay, fine. If you, meet all those other financial markers here.